I'll tell you guys a quick story. This will be funny. So this food was so shit there. It was awful. It was awful. I'm not kidding. It was so shit. There was actually some funny story on the internet how I had shipped in like a ton of food and I was the only guy that was getting to eat and what it was. So I don't know where the hell that came from, but it's funny to me because the only thing I had, right, is I had beef jerky and I was able to go to a local grocery store and I got Snickers bars, right, and I had brought protein shakes. So if I went down and looked at the food and it looked like shit, which it normally did, I'd go back to my room and I would eat beef jerky, Snickers bar, and a protein shake. And that's all I would be able to eat. But somebody, I think it was the therapist guys, had figured out there was an American type sports bar that was about a 40-minute cab ride away from where we were staying, right? And I was like, oh, I gotta find some food, right? Like this is just, it has to happen. So I said, all right, and the language barrier is very big there, right? So I found the translator guy and I got 2 pieces of paper and I said, look, dude, write on this paper, take me to this sports bar, right? And on the other paper, take me back to this hotel, right? And so I had these and I kept them in my wallet. And then if I would go, then I started going to the meal that they had provided for us. Normally, like I said, it looked like shit. So I went down to the taxi place, get him to call a taxi. The guy didn't speak English. I would hand him a note that said, take me to the sports bar. And then I would not look at the road when we went because the driving, you thought you were gonna die. Like it was so bad with just, oh, it's awful. So you have to just look down and kind of like just chill out for like 40 minutes. Then I would get to this place and I would get these, just like a burger or something that I thought was actually maybe beef. And I would eat it, and I told myself it was beef, so it's just, that's what we left with. And I would normally order a couple extra, and then I would go back outside, try to find a damn cab, 40 minutes cab ride back. That's what I did, and that's how I survived to eat, right? Like it was not till the very last day that had kind of caught the stomach problem that a lot of the guys had. So I was up, and that was the last night, the day in between the finals. I was up several different times through the night. My stomach was really upset and it was awful, but I found a way to get it done. So that was not fun. It was also very humid and awful, so I wouldn't highly recommend going there. But anyway, you have to do what you have to do is the point. You know, I mean, it's even this year, Ed and I, the mattresses were so shit at the hotel, right? We went together to buy our own mattresses. We bought our own mattresses and literally carried them in the front of the hotel, threw the other ones out of our room and put these new mattresses on our beds just because we were gonna sleep better. My back was killing me just because the mattress was probably, I don't know how old it was, but it was like nothing. You know, it's like sleeping on a rock. It was ridiculous. So, I mean, little things like that. Those are the behind the scenes stories they should actually get for Worlds, because that's actually interesting. But anyway, yeah, it's different places. There's certainly different challenges. So, yeah.
What's the funniest thing or most ridiculous thing that you've experienced on or off stage with strongman?
Oh man, gosh, there's a lot of things. I think the one that comes to mind is we were riding in an elevator, 2009 World's Strongest Man in Malta, and it was me, Phil Pfister, I think Derek Poundstone, Terry, I'm not sure if Terry was in there, maybe he was. It was a lot of big guys, right? Like we're all crammed in there, and this elevator's older, right? And the weight limit is definitely being pushed, and the elevator stops, right? Stalls between floors, and we're stuck in this elevator, right? And I don't remember who was claustrophobic. One of the guys was not having it. And you can imagine now we had just come back from competing, so not smelling the best, stuck in a room, you know, that's not much bigger than one of these mats, right? And we're all just kind of shoulder to shoulder like, all right, what the hell are we gonna do here, you know? And so we start, of course, we're strong men, so what are we going to do? We're going to try to break the door open and do different shit. So we're taking everything out of our bags to pry the elevator doors open, and we got them open like this far, and we're like yelling at people because it's between floors. It was ridiculous. It was literally ridiculous. We were stuck in there for probably, I don't know, a couple hours, hour and a half. It was awful. So that's probably the most, I mean, off the top of my head, there's a lot of crazy shit, but it's, that was pretty funny. I mean, looking back, it's pretty funny, you know, because it was yelling, and people are like, the person that found us was probably the funniest, because she's like, you're kind of opening the doors, and it's like, this lady looks, and like, it just, the look on her face was, it was good, because, you know, she was just like, what do you do? Like, these big ass guys are yelling at me because they're stuck in an elevator, and it was funny. That was good. Well, we got out. We made it out. You have to be dedicated to, but this is not necessarily just strongman, right? You can have those goals, but all of this can apply to your job or your relationship or anywhere else you're trying to go. There's gonna have to be a price that has to be paid, right? And the only one that can pay that price is yourself. So you have to be willing and able to look in the mirror and look at yourself honestly and say, am I doing everything I possibly can to get to where I want to go, right? Because ultimately you can't point the finger at anybody else for holding you back if you're going to be the one that's holding yourself back. Does that make sense? So it's not, you know, nobody is in control except you. And I figured that out a long time ago. I really tried hard to surround myself with like-minded people that aren't trying to hold me back. I've lost friendships. I've lost different relationships. I've lost a lot of things because those people were negative and they were holding me down, right? And they didn't see the vision. I was told, I can't tell you how many times when I started Strongman and started becoming more focused on it, how many times people told me, Brian, you're not going to be able to do that, you know? And it was because those people are saying that because they don't have the backbone to do it themselves, right? So they don't want to see me do it because they want to be like, well, I'm going to knock you down. I'm going to bring you down to my level. But it's always the people that are willing to put that work in and rise above that to get to where they want to go. That's the success, right? Ultimately, that's success in life. And it doesn't have to be, like I said, it doesn't have to be strongman related. Everybody can have goals in different aspects of their life that this can apply to. It's not, you know, ultimately it doesn't come down to, you know, getting stronger. I think that everybody should train. I think that everybody should work out. Why? Because you have to be willing to put in the work to get results, right? It teaches you so much about yourself. If you're willing to sacrifice and say, well, I'm going to train, but now I've got to eat better to get better results, and I've got to sleep better to get better results. Now that can be applied to so many other areas of your life. And, you know, it's ultimately I kind of finished this. I mean, after I came back in from World's Strongest Man in 2010, I had a piece of wood in my gym at that time, and I took a black marker, and on it I just wrote "Be great," right? Because in my head, those two words, when you put them together, it was what I was trying to do. Good. So first, bring it back to your legs without lifting it. Okay. So you're right now your hands will have to go just a touch wider, okay, just to get past your knees there. Okay. So roll it forward. Okay. So as you come back, this has to tighten. There you go. Good. And then head has to come up, and you have to sit your hips back. So wait. Stand up. So don't load your hamstrings. Don't bend your knees until you start to roll the bar back, right? So as the bar comes back, you sit back. Does that make sense? The problem is where you obviously have your pattern, and we're trying to break it right now, so it's just a little bit different. But feel it out. So right now don't load until we're going to lock up here, chest up, right? As you roll the bar back and sit your hips back. That's all you're going to do.
So get this in place first, and then the.
As you start to drop your hips back, I'll cue you, right? But you're going to engage your upper back and pull your hips back. Okay? All right. So first out. So take that big breath. So here you relax here. There you go. Good. So as you start to come back, go slow. Go slow. Okay, upper back, hips back, hips back, hips back, right there. You feel how that's starting to come off the ground?
Yep.
Right? So we just changed that pivot point is what we did. So ideally, if you could get yourself behind the bar like that, you're going to be able to lift more weight. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's, for you, as opposed to other people, it's a fine line, right? But what you're doing is, because your hips aren't going quite as far back, you're shooting your knees forward just a little bit to meet the bar. Instead, you want to bring the bar to you. Hips then come back that little bit. So instead of that weight being in front of the bar, it's behind the bar.
So try to keep my chin a bit more vertical.
Yep. And upper back. The more you pull that, that's going to be better. So I know I keep saying that, but it's just the way it is, man. It's you bang that, you'll lift more weight, 100%. All right. So first, do what you would normally do. Do what you would normally do. Okay. Do one more. Okay, so not bad. Honestly, not bad at all. What we're looking at here is your knees coming forward to meet the bar. Kind of very much the same thing as kind of what we just went through, but right now that's essentially, this is about where you're starting, is right here.
Yeah.
Right? So you're starting, and what we're doing is your knees are coming forward to meet the bar instead of the bar coming back to you, right?
Yeah.
So all we have to do, but you're doing a great job. Body position is good, everything's good, arms are straight. So let's find your hand position. Let's take a small step out for me. Yeah, just like that. Yep, that's good. Okay, so let's find your hand position. Okay, all right, good job. Okay, so let's roll the bar forward here. So relax, and then all we're gonna do here is we're gonna engage upper back as you roll the bar back, but then try to sit back. So sit back more, but go slow, slow. Back, back, right there. That's where we want to go. I mean, maybe just a touch further. So let's now roll it forward and let's lift it. Okay? So back, there. That was it. Okay. So the other thing is, do you normally put it down like that? Yeah. Okay. So I would be careful. I'd be careful. I would let it, unless you're trying to do an eccentric load with it, because just be careful with putting it down on your legs, because you could hurt yourself a little bit. So normally just go from the top and let it drop, but control it, So because you're like sticking your knees forward to put it down and like going, you feel it?
Yeah,
You probably feel it.
with my knee.
Yeah. So you don't need to though. Like if you pull it from the top, you can just drop it down, and then you don't need to drop your hips as you're putting it down, right? So then drop it and then reset into that. Yeah. But your body, do one more. How did it feel? A little bit of. Okay. Yeah. So do one more just to kind of reinforce that. Okay. So big breath, upper chest, stick the chest out, engage the upper back. Good. And then just drop straight down. You have a habit. That's all right. You just don't want to hurt yourself. But yeah. It's that fine line for you. But I actually like the stance, I think, being opened up a little bit more. It's that you because you don't have a problem with flexibility at all, the only thing we don't want to do is maybe set your hips too low. Right? So it's a fine line there. That one spot that we got to, your shins are back. So your shins are your indicator, because your flexibility is not a problem. So some people, they're so tight, they have a hard time even getting their hips down in position. That's not an issue. It's just more of your shin angle and where you can get to. But again, it's honestly great, like really good. Yeah. So if you can just get that shin angle to come back a little bit, it's spot on. Awesome. You got it. Good stuff. Cool. So same thing, tilt the handles forward. Bring it closer. Okay, into the lap. Okay. So from here, try to make contact with your upper chest, right? And then you're going to engage here, and then we're going to shoot the hips. So pull back and then shoot your hips and elbows at the same time. Good job. There you go. Okay, so weight back on your heels, spread the floor, knees out over the toes, hips come back. And then drive it overhead. Good job. There you go. Good. You're good. That's all right. Huh?
Let's do that one more time.
Okay, let's do it.
One more.
Perfect. I like it. Okay. Good job. That's better. Good. In the chest, shoot the hips, elbows come through. Good job. Okay?
I hit myself in the face.
That's okay. All right, so spread the floor, knees out over the toes, hips come back, and then drive your head through. Good. That's better.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
So, yeah.
Good stuff.
Let's do it right now.
Yeah. Good job. Well, that's perfect. So you tilted forward. Then we're going to engage upper back and then shoot the hips forward and roll it up your body. Good job. Perfect. Okay. Spread the floor, knees out over the toes and break the hips. Yes. Good. Nice job, dude. Really good. Good? Huh? That was great, man.